All right, it looks like Speaker Nancy Pelosi is about to take to the podium. I believe she's talking about the USMCA, which is the new trade deal to replace NAFTA. Let's take a listen.
1, 2, 3. Okay, Richie. Okay. You got the 8. Yes, he did. Good morning, everyone. This is a day we've all been working to and working for on the path to yes. We were in range for a while, but until we could cross a certain threshold of enforcement for our workers' rights, for environment, and for the prescription drug issue, as you know, they were 3 of the areas that we had put out there. I want to thank our chairman, Richie NEAL, chair of the Ways and Means Committee, the 8 members of the task force, whom I will acknowledge momentarily, but thanking them for their leadership in negotiating on different segments of the legislation. I also want to thank Richard Trumpka, the president of the AFL-CIO. He was persistent, dissatisfied, knowledgeable. He really got us to a place which is a far distance from where we started with the proposal that was given to us. There is no question, of course, that this trade agreement is much better than NAFTA. But in terms of our work here, it is infinitely better than what was initially proposed by the administration. And I credit our chairman, Richie NEAL, for helping us navigate all of these places. The unity of our caucus on specific priorities in order to get the job done. And again, the brilliance and knowledge of Richard Trumpka as to the ramifications of every provision that was in the legislation. We'll be handing out a memo from the Ways and Means Committee. You may have it, which explains why we are so proud of the distance that we have come from where we started with the administration on this legislation. It's a victory for America's workers. It's one that we take great pride in advancing. The members of the 8 members of the task force, Congresswoman Rosa DeLauro, who has a markup in her committee about workers' rights or in appropriations, Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky, you'll be hearing from, Mike Thompson of California, Terry Sewell of Alabama, Suzanne Bonamici of Oregon, whom you'll be hearing from, Jimmy Gomez of California you'll be hearing from as well. Where are my others? John Larson of Connecticut, Earl Blumenauer of Oregon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Here we are. And now it's my honor to yield to Richie. He was indeed a maestro to make all of this happen. It's with great respect and admiration for his work and gratitude that I yield to the chairman of the Ways and Means Committee, Richie NEAL.
Thanks, Madam Speaker. Thank you. Every once in a great while, you get to participate in a "it will never happen" moment, and we are witnessing that today. The other value of technology, I will point out, was after a round of intense finishing conversations and negotiations over the weekend that started on Saturday morning with the Speaker and myself and the Trade Rep, Robert Lighthizer. We went back and Mr. Trumpka, the Speaker, was on a hunting expedition. We spoke with him frequently. But the Speaker talked to me earnestly about we're near. And on Sunday, when Tom Brady was about to take it in, all of a sudden I looked at my phone. It said Pelosi for caller ID. Long wisdom tells me, the hell with Brady, take the call.
And I was watching Baltimore and the 49ers.
So this is a transformative agreement. It's a template, I believe, for future agreements. Our constant emphasis was on enforceability. We fixed that. And the idea and the notion that the president of the AFL-CIO, Rich Trumpka, would be supportive of this initiative, I think, tells the story. But this is more than a triumph for organized labor. It's a triumph for workers everywhere across America. In terms of the working group members, I want to say that they strengthened the labor standards They strengthened the environmental chapters. They enhanced the verification mechanisms for environmental trade. With the unflinching leadership of the Speaker, we also secured important changes in USMCA that preserve Congress's ability to change U.S. law to address the crisis we are facing with respect to high prescription drug prices. Over the intense period of these negotiations with the administration, I repeatedly emphasized that USMCA will deserve a vote because it's an agreement that Democrats shaped. I don't think anybody on this dais would have said 2 months ago that we would have been able to get as far as we did in this negotiation. It was based upon goodwill, but also a determination that we acknowledge the problems that have existed in the past with enforceability. And it was a very telling moment, just to share with the media. On the day of the break in August with the working group, I said to the trade rep the last meeting, I said, nothing has fostered more disagreement about trade than the lack of enforceability. And the trade rep said to me, you are absolutely right. And he said, I want to tell you, and this is, I think I'm not speaking out of school, he said, there have been people in the State Department, the Defense Department, and the Oval Office over the years who said, don't get this one upset and don't get that one upset, because we might need them on future geographic issues. He said, our position has been that we are supportive of the thrust of what you want to do here. And I think that the initiative that we offered, his position, I think the offering that we have in front of us today is indicative of the goodwill. But some of the members on this task force, and including the chairman of the subcommittee, Mr. Blumenauer, what a job they did. These were intense, argumentative, angry negotiations. I mean, this got really hot on a number of occasions. I think we set a world record for hanging up on each other, myself and the trade rep. And but at the same time, we also knew that this was an opportunity that we couldn't let get away from us, and we did that. So we will continue to share more details in text. The last point is a reminder that I traveled to Mexico with a delegation to meet the president of Mexico. Then right after that, I traveled to Canada to meet with the Prime Minister of Canada and the Minister for Defense and Trade, Freeland. They are, I believe, they were good partners in this. They conceded just about to every point that we asked for because of the following: enforceability, enforceability, enforceability. So with that, Madam Speaker, I'll turn it back to you.
Well, we're going to turn it back to